He would rape me once a week, every week. And then that's when he started to gain control over me.
That's from 2014. This survivor was one of the 1,400 victims of the UK's grooming gangs who was sexually exploited as a child. In January 2025, Elon Musk reopened the scandal surrounding gangs of men who groomed, assaulted and raped girls across England, calling Keir Starmer, UK's Prime Minister, complicit in the rape of Britain.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims, they're interested in themselves.
Let's look at what exactly the controversy is. In 2011, the Times of London published investigative articles about the sexual exploitation of girls by criminal gangs in northern England and the Midlands. The abuse reportedly spanned from 1997 onwards. An independent report by Professor Alexis J in 2014, which investigated abuse in Rotherham, found that 1,400 children, some as young as 11, were targeted between 1997 and 2013. Now, what are these grooming gangs? The grooming often followed a pattern. Young men approached girls in public places like town centers, gained their trust through gifts or attention, and introduced alcohol or drugs. This was followed by exploitation, where the victim was coerced into sexual acts with multiple individuals. These gangs often operated in areas with high numbers of vulnerable children, such as those in foster care or disadvantaged backgrounds. The abuse cases were particularly sensitive because of the racial dynamics. Victims were often white, while some perpetrators belonged to the ethnic minority groups. For example, prosecutions in towns like Rochdale and Oldham in 2012 involved men of South Asian heritage, primarily of Pakistani origin.
I reopened cases that had been closed and supposedly finished. I brought the first major prosecution of an Asian grooming gang.
When Starmer, reacting to the Musk-propelled controversy in 2025, referred to the perpetrators as Asian, many Indian diaspora groups objected. In official UK statistics, Asian refers to people of Asian descent living in the UK, including ethnicities from South Asia like Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and East Asia like Chinese. But Starmer's use of the broad term misrepresented specific ethnicities involved, these groups said. The 2014 J report had noted that a significant proportion of the known perpetrators in Rotherham were of Pakistani heritage. Local authorities and law enforcement have faced criticism for failing to act on abuse cases, either by disbelieving victims or blaming them. Some victims were dismissed as willing participants because they were groomed with gifts and attention. Inquiries have also examined claims that fear of being labelled racist hindered investigations in cases involving ethnic minority perpetrators.
If all of the authorities involved, officers and members, had been less concerned with their own agendas and prejudices and kept their focus on the children's welfare, some of these children might not have suffered.
What was Starmer's role in all of this? Keir Starmer led the Crown Prosecution Service from 2008 to 2013 during the period when many of these cases surfaced. Critics have questioned whether the CPS did enough to address these crimes under his leadership. Starmer has defended his record, stating that during his tenure, the CPS significantly increased prosecutions in child sexual abuse cases. Meanwhile, many also accused Musk of exploiting a sensitive issue for sensationalism, disregarding years of investigation, prosecutions, and inquiries into grooming gangs. But the post nevertheless cast the spotlight back onto a painful child sexual exploitation scandal. While the debates rage on, Professor Alexis J, who led a 7-year probe into the grooming scandal, had a clear message. It's time for less talk and more action.